Here we go. It is grand finals time. We have arrived. It is Northwood versus UCF in a best-of-7 to determine who is the champion here in Atlanta. CECC, the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup for Rocket League, is all going to end here and now.
And what a build-up to get to this point. I mean, starting out with the winners finals where we saw these two teams squaring off a banger of a losers final series as well. I mean, just between both of those to build up to this grand finals, you know what? I'm okay with waiting a day to put us on Sunday, get all the excitement into one action-packed sequence here because these two teams facing off right now, you know, they made the flight. It's the UFC, right? No, but this is the UCF. They're stepping into the octagon right now. Northwood has the belt, and they're coming for it.
Oh, 100%. At this point, you still have to favorite Northwood a little bit. But one thing I will say, hey, UCF, you've been hounding me on this, and you've won now at this point. You are not underdogs. This is not going to be an upset if you get this done. You guys are genuinely very, very ready for this and very prepared. Seriously, I genuinely do think that this is about to be insanity.
Yeah, and I hope that in between the games they had a moment to recollect, you know, maybe take some of those samples of drink control we have upstairs because those things, they do hit. Like, don't get me wrong. Those things are delicious. So hopefully they got a chance to, you know, have a little snack in between games and get themselves psyched up, ready to go here for this grand finals. You know, as they mentioned, it is already a 1-0 advantage for Northwood being the team that came out of that winners finals. So is that going to be enough for them to hold on to? What's your thoughts here?
I'm thinking that, listen, as for, I don't want to argue against you because I know I'll get roasted on Twitter if I do, but I also believe that this is probably going the distance. I don't see this being another game where we just see one or the other side just kind of run away with it. Last time we went to game 5. This time I'm thinking we're going to 7, and I'm interested in your thoughts if you agree.
I will echo those sentiments. I do think we're going the distance. I think we're going all the way into game number 7. I think we might be so lucky to get a couple of overtime games once more, but again, with the way everyone else is kind of leaning, as everyone responded to, Northwood's the team to look out for. They're the team to beat. That's where I'm going to go. I'm going to take a 4-3.
Ooh, 4-3 in favor of Northwood. You know what? I'm going to back my boy Blue. If he's going to continue, you know, supporting me as well as Fawn, I'm going to support them as well. I'm saying UCF in this one. I want to see the Kings toppled, not because I want to have someone else wear the crown, but come on. Why would it be fun if I agreed with you? Let's keep the spice going on. Come on, let's keep the spice alive. And let's also see if we can hop into the series real soon here as we're just about set up for this best-of-7. And again, folks, we're coming into this one with a game advantage for Northwood. And while that may not seem like a lot, what it really is, it's a buffer room. Considering the fact that UCF have come from that lower bracket, they're going to feel a little bit hotter here. So if Northwood don't necessarily have a good first game, okay, cool. We play a best-of-5 from here on out. And that is massive. To give that team that second chance, that second ability to really restart themselves, it can change a series.
And I think that's kind of going to be the entrance into this conversation of, okay, UCF has played back-to-back series, right? Yeah. There was a little bit of time off where Northwood was kind of sitting idly by. They weren't playing in a competitive environment, so maybe that's where advantage is going to go. We'll find out which direction it leads to once we get to this kickoff point, but I think that looking at the Stockton series, UCF was starting to slow down as that series progressed. They weren't getting as many goals on the board. They started out with a 5-1 scoreline. So here we go to grand finals, game number 1. Here we go, UCF and Northwood.
All right, audience, let's make some noise. We have finally arrived. Championship Sunday. The two teams, they're not just going to battle it out. They are going to brawl on this pitch. And I got to say, the first team to hit that knockout blow, it's going to be something special. I'm looking for right hooks. I'm looking for jabs. I'm looking for an uppercut that sends someone to the ceiling, just like Pirates. We'll send this one to the backboard, but Luke, decent clear out. The midfield presence, though, out of Northwood doesn't look like it's missed a beat. They were doing this last series, and they're doing even more here. Buddy with a negative angle to open up the score line.
What an angle, what control to have that off the wall, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. They get the first goal, and Northwood is not messing around.
Yeah, listen, contrary to his name, he is nobody's buddy here on the pitch. This man is going to make enemies out on this field, and I think he's already done that here as Northwood will find themselves an early goal and could find another one, the extra flip. Going to set up Buddy, but he will not hit the mark. But one thing is for certain, Trevor, we're 40 seconds into this one, and no, Northwood, they did not fall asleep. They are still just as warm.
We are not slowing down in this series at all. Already getting the 2 great shots off from Northwood and still maintaining this pressure. This is exactly exactly what happened in their last series. Northwood spent so much time on this side of the field, and they're continuing to do so.
Oh, they're putting on the pressure here, but can they find themselves a second goal? As I really do think giving them a second goal within the first half of this game, it not only sets the tone for the series, it also puts UCF in a bit of a tough position as they will now be down 2 games overall. But we're not there yet. 3:48 left on the clock, although that's an awkward play off the backboard there. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to clear it out. Luke is going to be able to find himself at least a 1v1, and can he get it past? No, tries to get a flip reset in the back, but not quite able to do so. Pinch attempt on the wall, also not going to be successful. And this is what we were scared about last time. When UCF started getting passive and started trying to go for a little bit too much out of midfield, Northwood were very quick to shut them down.
And talked about it on the desk, the boost denial that Northwood had over UCF.
Yeah.
They're really doing a significantly better job here already in this game, where not only are they getting the boost out of their own zone, they're controlling a lot of this midfield boost as well. So UCF is at least giving them the outs that they need if they're able to then translate it into a transition offensive attack.
Ooh, that's an awkward play, though, here. UCF, 2 players in the corner. Neither one of them decommits, as Furrow will go to the ground and try and recollect himself, but it's going to be a bit of a dangerous position here as Buddy tries to rip off a shot. 50-50 against Asfura is not going to go anywhere as Northwood continue with their pressure. Uh-oh, and that's something you and I talked about before. Asfura, heavy touch to the wall, just trying to buy some space. Last time UCF started doing that, they just kept giving away possessions, and if they do that here again against Northwood, it's going to be a similar result.
And I'm liking the patience here that UCF is now showing and watching these mistakes from Northwood. A couple of misplays, a couple of overcommits there opened up a brief opportunity for UCF. They just couldn't capitalize on it, but we're seeing this play on the other side of the field where it's not just a lone possession with a one efficient shot. Instead, they're able to get at least a little pressure there onto Northwood, but we're past the halfway point. It's still only the lone goal here, and Northwood's looking to strike for the second, but Bitts in the air is going to make the save and push it to the side.
Yeah, a little bit of a breakdown of the pace of play there. Both teams trying to fake out each other, but neither one of them is getting bit by the mind games, but Bitts can find something instead here. Does he have a flip reset? No, but he's got Luke in the wings, and
the fake.
Luke almost flutters that one into the top left, but not quite enough. And Northwood, they will wipe the sweat off their brow for at least a second, but what about another 2 minutes? That's how long we've got here in game number 1, as Asfura is going to try and take this one out from the corner. He'll get a pass down center, but again, heavy touch goes to nobody but Buddy on the other side here. Feels like UCF, they're desperate to break out of their half and will do so no matter the cost.
And just trying to maintain control here in this one to keep it at that lone goal as we hit the 90-second mark. They're going on the attack here, but the ball gets away from his fur, just gets a little too much oomph behind it. Instead, starts to go the other way, and Bitts is going to be able to catch this at midfield. We leave it hanging. As Furrow with the 50 is going to send this one to Luke, who sends it wayward of the goal, but the defense steps up in time.
As Furrow almost able to intercept that one and try and get a redirect to at least put a shot on target, and that's the big issue right now, Trev, is that we're seeing, it's not just that UCF are getting locked into their half, they're not really getting shots on target. They'll be in offense for about a quarter of a second, and then immediately have it sent the other way. So UCF, it's time to break out and do more than break out. Find yourself some possession. Again, another heavy touch. Pirates way too quick on the ball. He is not going to get caught off guard by that. And honestly, UCF, if you don't get creative, unfortunately, you're losing game number 1.
I really like the attempts at the pass plays here. They're looking in the right passing lanes. They're just hitting it at a little too harsh of an angle where the defense is able to challenge and able to stop and disrupt these passes from coming off, and thus giving Northwood these chances where they come back the other way and are just controlling time of possession. Here's that bounce is going to sneak underneath Bitts, and Pirates is going to get the second goal.
Oh, no, it's just an awkward drop-down pass. We call that a waterfall when it comes off the corner like that. As Furrow tries to read it, but Bitts is already committed up in the air for it, and at that point, it's just going to send itself into the back of the net and possibly send Northwood up 2-0 on the series. 35 seconds left. It's technically possible for UCF to turn this one around, but they really have struggled to even find shots here in this first game.
Yeah, just has to be able to find a way to put together an efficient offensive attack here. Try to get one efficient shot, because they really haven't had that success that we saw in their first series where they're able to take games off of Northwood. Instead, under 20 to play here now, and they're on the wrong side of the field.
They really are, and at this point, I think that they're the wrong side of game number 1 as well. 18 seconds left. It's nigh impossible for them to find this comeback, but maybe Luke can at least get a goal for the road. No, again, another heavy touch out to midfield where Northwood will intercept. And as Pirates take this one through the air, he might just get one for the road. Indeed, he will. A little bit of an assist there out of Buddy. I'll give him the asterisk on my score sheet as, they find a third goal, and they find game number 2.
Yeah, being able to come out in this one, we saw their shutout there as 6-0 in the final game of their first series here. Now going to get another one coming into this game number 2 with just scraps on the scoreboard there. A 2-goal performance from Pirates is able to now assert themselves into this position, up 2-0 in the series. Sorry, his fair prediction's wrong. Northwood's got at least a couple more.
It could also be right, unfortunately for him. He did mistakenly say 4-0 initially, and well, it's possible. They're two games away from it.
It's going the other way. Yeah.
Listen, other way. Who cares? I have to say at this point here. And well, as we look back upon the replays here, brought to you by Microsoft and CDW, it does feel like Northwood, they cared a lot about this game number one. They knew they had to set the tone. They knew they needed to rebound because they showed vulnerability. When you prove that the Giants can bleed, all of a sudden someone's going to try and take you down. So patch it up, grab a band-aid, get yourself back ready, and it does look like Northwood are exactly that. They are prepared for the battle that is ahead of them. Talk about stepping in the octagon. Well, it looks like they have stepped in, and they don't find themselves submission first round, but they find themselves a heck of a lot of punches.
Yeah, the defender of the title is here to stay as they're trying to hold on to this championship belt as they got that game number 2 win. And we talked about UCF establishing dominance early. When they scored the first goal, they do a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, because they just don't have to worry about that extra added pressure. The fact that Northwood's able to not only strike first, but continue to layer on that pressure, continue to maintain that offensive attack, they're doing exactly what we saw in the end of their series. They said it in the pregame comments. This is where they left off. This is where they expected to be, and they picked up.
Well, let's see if they can continue to pick up the pace of play here as Northwood look to take their third game technically in a row. They walk into this one with a 1-game advantage, technically giving them game number 1. They walk into game number 2 taking a shutout victory. Again, we have to emphasize how important that is because now at this point, UCF, they're going on 5 minutes without a goal here in the series. They've yet to score at all. Maybe they can change this up right here and now. It's a decent passing play building up. I don't know how that pass was read, but also the double commit on the backboard will not be enough. Pirates, somehow, some way, just doesn't get annoyed enough and is still calm and composed.
Somehow able to get that just out of the defense and physical aggression, but once the commits, the other side, I cannot believe that the miscommunications, the commits on that end are going to lead to the goal. Northwood strikes first again.
All right, filthy, sickening, disgusting. Audience, you want to say it with me this time? Disgusting, just filthy out of Northwood, breaking axles, breaking hearts on the back line, and potentially putting UCF in a tough position. They lose this game. They got a reverse sweep against Northwood. And again, we've been talking about how hard a reverse sweep is. You know what's even harder than a reverse sweep? A reverse sweep against the number 1 seed.
Yep, that's quite a lot to ask in any circumstance, and especially when you find yourself in a position of knowing that you've already lost to this, you find yourselves down after that first 3-0 performance. Now, down 1-0 in this, a minute into this game, it is asking a lot. So at the point, take it 1 goal, 1 game at a time. UCF has to find something on the board. They got to get this offense online.
Looks like they're twisting wires right now, though. Both of the teams just kind of toppling over each other here, but UCF not figuring out who's going to be the one to clear this out of the half, to give them that relief of pressure they've been looking for. 2 players in the corner. Neither one of them makes a solid enough touch, so Buddy will send it to the backboard. Hockey in a 1v1, and he will win it. I'm actually even wrong. There's 2 defenders on the line, and they still can't stop this.
Still can't. Buddy with the great touch there off the wall, and you see just Pirates on the rotation back, leaves it open. Neither one of those defenders really goes for it. That, again, the miscommunications or just the lack of communication thereof, we heard about it after that first series. There was a lot of closed mouths in that game number 5 when it was 6-0. Maybe we're seeing an echo of that.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point here. It does feel like the pressure is up against UCF and Northwood. They're doing the most with it. They are finding themselves not goals out of nowhere. I thought they might find another one to tack on top, but they'll have to try and fight a little bit harder here as what's going on at midfield here? This could be the boost starvation we were talking about before. UCF trying to march into the other half of the field, and they do so rather slowly. It's a little bit of a snail's pace right now, but considering it's been about 7 minutes without a goal, they're needing to find that pace of play soon. Again, Trev, I hate to say it, they lose this game, I'm betting on them losing the series as well.
Yeah, it's just not looking ideal. The momentum being built up from Northwood, especially with that shot on. Great catch out of the air. Sends it down into the back of the net, and a 3-0 lead now for Northwood, who's just, they kicked it on cruise control in their last series. It's still rolling.
It's crazy to think also, it's 3-0. We've got 2:53 left in the clock.
That's a lot of time.
We are not even halfway through this game, and Northwood have found themselves not just the, I'm not going to call them the victors, but I've called them absolute domination thus far. He might even find another goal here. Pirates trying to dismantle the defense by himself out of the corner. Can't quite get past everybody, but they will keep it on the half, and his buddy sends another one to the opposite corner now. It'll be up to Asfer to get that clear, and that's something I will say UCF have kind of been missing in this game. Usually we're so, I was going to say impressed by their defense. I'll tell you this much, I'm not really impressed by the Northwood defense here. This is a breakdown, and finally UCF get on the board.
And maybe that's all it takes, just to get that single goal. Bitch just capitalizes on swing and a miss, and we've seen UCF with their miscues on defense. This time Northwood the victim of it. As we hit this halfway point, it'll be a 2-goal disparity, and still well within striking distance here for UCF. They just have to maintain their offensive presence, force some more mistakes from Northwood, which is, again, asking a lot here from a team as good as Northwood is. But we know Giants can bleed. We've seen it. This is UCF. They got to step up and continue.
And again, we talk about Rocket League being such a momentum-based game. Goals like that can start to throw a team a little bit off guard, and exactly what we see there. Northwood double commit. I mean, even the last series was a good example. Close games, we're going back and forth, back and forth. Game number 4, as Furrow misses a save on the line, and then Northwood run away with the series. So maybe that miss there on the back line is going to be enough that UCF now can get into the game. Bits would like to think so, so we'll pass it out to Luke on the front half. Luke sends it to the backboard. Yes, Furrow's up for this one, but so is the defenders on Northwood. They will cut that out and potentially take away the game as well, because with 100 seconds left on the clock, a 2-goal comeback is possible, but that's literally, well, that's 2 more goals than they've gotten this entire series.
Yeah, usually if you want to win the game, you have to score more goals than the other team. So UCF has some ground to make up here. As that shot, I cannot believe, did not cross the line, and somehow he still maintained his 3-1 scoreline as UCF looks to strike back the other side, but good challenges here in front of the net. A miss on the other side. Unfortunately, that ball just goes up in front of the goal and will not formulate too much for UCF. A strike the other way will be saved by his Furrow, as that one's going to be about the top of the box and sent across midfield.
Yeah, this back and forth gameplay, we're going end to end to end to end. It's really not going to benefit anybody but Northwood here. Again, UCF, they need to try and be a little bit quicker to the ball here, and they will get quick enough to stop Hockey on that shot, but they will not be enough to get it off the half, as Furrow will send this one to the side, or he'll attempt to. He'll get demoed for his troubles there, and unfortunately, I think the trouble has only begun, because now I'm starting to think it's reverse sweep time. 50 seconds left on the clock. Northwood, they just got to hold on, and if they do so, they force Central Florida to take 4 games in a row if they want this championship.
We certainly know UCF has the capability to take at least a couple, but 4 in a row is a tall order here. Northwood, especially looking as good as they are right now, just wasting this clock, and as you mentioned, this end-to-end play is nothing but bad news for UCF, as they cannot formulate any sort of an offensive plan, especially when Northwood keeps putting up these shots, keeps creating this pressure in the offensive zone, and pinning UCF all the way back on their own half.
Oh, this is looking a little bit bleak right now. UCF, they're not going to be able to win this game. They just don't have the time. I'm glad they got a goal on the board, but you got to remember, the one goal they do get, it's off an error on Northwood's side. So I'm a bit nervous right now. We could be seeing the blowout that we kind of expected. We were talking to Jackie before we got into this one. I said it's going one of 2 ways. Either this is the most competitive series we see all day. It goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Or this is Northwood with a blowout, and they are 1 game away from doing so. But at the same time, I mean, UCF, they're 1 game away from making this a competitive series. Start that reverse sweep. Start the momentum going. Get the engines revving and get those boost tanks full, because it is possible, Trevor. They can absolutely turn this around.
Yeah, these replays from Microsoft and CDW are just going to show a lot of what we've already seen from Northwood in their last series. I mean, that was just a disgusting play there. The backflips with the broken axles. I cannot believe that some of these balls did not get across the line. The goals should have been scored to maintain this 3-1 scoreline, though. But I'm just watching what Northwood has done. They've played their game. At the end of their first series, they've continued to play their game, and that's what UCF has to do. They have to get Northwood off their game, which is not easy to do by any means, but this is just what has to be done here and now. Take it 1 goal at a time, take it 1 game at a time. UCF has to step into this mentality that this is a fresh start.
And I think that's exactly what we were seeing there out of Laser, trying to instill some confidence in his players to let them know, hey guys, we still got a series ahead of us, and we've got a game ahead of us as well. Game number 5 underway here, as we do find ourselves with a potential end of the series. If Northwood can find 1 more win, if UCF can find themselves a win, they can keep this one alive. And no, they unfortunately cannot survive past the first 16 seconds. Northwood with an early strike.
Just a great steal there, Buddy off the top, and a great challenge coming across. This Fur could not get contact on fast enough. That ball sneaks into the upper 90, and Northwood strikes first once again, which we have never seen bode well for UCF. Northwood in control.
And really, I think the player in control right now is Hockey. He has been unreal. 4 goals in 3 games. He has averaged exactly a goal a game at this point. He didn't score in game number 1, but he makes up for it here in game number 4. So at this point, I don't even know what to say. I have no words for this. What?
That right there is a goal. I can't believe Hockey just couldn't quite get that. A great challenge from Luke. Perfect positioning to angle the car towards the goal so that if that 50 does go your way, it's going to go straight towards the net. Defense had no time at all to react to that. And that's an equalizer less than 20 seconds later.
That's an interesting way to also get a goal there. It does feel like that was kind of both UCF getting aggressive, which we've been asking for, and also Northwood getting a little bit uncomfortable. We said this team needed to be thrown off tilt. And if you can do that, all of a sudden you've got yourself a way through. But at the same time, this is already looking a little bit precarious here. Northwood, again, they love this pressure offense. They love to lock a team into their own half, but they can't do that quite here. As for actually going to run a little bit of a nuisance play, annoy the other team, and maybe make them a bit off guard as that shot is not enough, just a little bit wide. UCF find themselves another chance to strike, but cannot capitalize.
Almost stuck it inside the upright. Instead, we go with the clock continuing to run, tied at 1, 3:40 here. UCF looking, this aggressiveness is maintaining from the UCF side, which is what we wanted from this offensive front. Find a way to develop some pressure here, build some momentum for yourself. Get one goal at a time. They've got that first goal. Now they just need to finally take a lead here if they can, but Vince with the defensive stand is not going to let Northwood get one.
It is very clear, though, UCF, they've definitely come to life here. They're putting up a much better game than before. The resistance is definitely there, and the shots can also be, but Luke cannot find connection with the ball. Another huge chance for UCF gone awry.
Buddy almost had a great opportunity there to break some more axles. Vince able to at least get the end around and stop that push, a one-on-one fast break potential, and said Pirates with the touch is going to take a little bit too much here. This ball will get sent back across midfield, and now we're starting to see the same resemblance of what UCF has done. Just unfortunate, a clear without a real plan to follow.
Yeah, that's unfortunately what we've seen time and time again. These heavy touches from UCF are really where they start to falter the most, and I think that Northwood are aware of that. You can see they're playing patiently. They're not trying to force another goal. Now that UCF have come to life, what they're waiting for is a mistake. They want to see UCF do something just tremendously bad, and then it can come back to bite them. But thus far, UCF standing up pretty tall here. We go halfway through this game, and we're still at a 1-1 scoreline, and as Bitz gets a receiving pass out to the corner, this could be something. But not if Pirates gets in the way. Good defensive stand as he clears it back out to midfield. Again, this is what Northwood know and love. They want the pressure, but they also want the shots on target a little bit wide. And another goal for Northwood. UCF, where'd the defense go?
Rotation, miscommunication. Luke went to the side, and there was nothing on the back end. Esfera picking up that boost pad in front of the net, got a little too greedy, and instead left the open shot. 2-1 advantage to Northwood here, coming up with 2 minutes to play.
And this could be the last 2 minutes we see all day here for Rocket League. If Northwood hold on to this lead, they will crown themselves the champions here at the CECC, and they might just be able to block themselves. Excuse me? Wait, that's the second time they've done that. How have we seen that in 2 series in a row? Well, not in a row, but, you know.
Yeah, it's just they're just trying to keep it close. They want to keep things interesting. That's the only way I can vindicate and defend that.
Can't really blame you here. And, well, there will be one team to blame if this ends right here and now, and that'll be UCF. They have pulled out the stop. They've gotten better and better, but better isn't enough. You need to be nearly perfect against this Northwood squad, but apparently there's at least a little bit of room to breathe. That shot will go off target, and it will go out to midfield. Well, now they will try and start an offense, but a missed touch out at mid by Luke is not going to be enough. He will try and send this one back down to Asfura, who's going to take a possession. Beats out one defender, can't beat the second one. Where's the follow-up? It's a pass down to Luke, and put the shot on target, but that's not going to be enough. Pirates to clear this out. And with about 1:15 left here, Trevor, we're looking at potentially the end of the series if UCF cannot find a goal.
They're doing better on this side, though, where they're finding these angles. They're not taking such a harsh angle of the pass. They've softened the touches at least a little bit here, but they're playing a dangerous game at this point, letting Northwood maintain this control and possession. As we've seen, Northwood still dictating the pressure in this game, maintaining offensive pressure and just not letting UCF develop anything to go the other way.
They're going to try one more time with 45 seconds left. This is the last life that UCF have to play with. If they lose this game, they will lose the entire tournament, and they will find themselves, unfortunately, in second place to a Northwood who continually do this over and over again. They'll win everything. They'll do it over and over until it is too many times, a broken record, if you will. And there's nothing broken about this. The offense continuing to be electric. 20 seconds left now, Trevor. It is now or never if UCF want to survive.
Got to find a way to get out of this end. Asfera trying to find it clear, but they break open the defense instead. A full commitment attempt to go the other way, and that is about all she wrote. A 3-1 scoreline, 14 seconds. I don't know. I don't think it's enough.
It's not quite set in stone, but the chisels are out. They've been carving the statue for a little while, and that statue is a crown. They have found themselves possibly the end, and this is going to determine it all. It's a fake kickoff. Northwood play it perfectly. They know they just need to waste time. They let the possession come into their half, and as a result, they will crown themselves the kings. Northwood are your champions. An extra one on top. Luke decides he wants to help out his opponents, and they now find themselves the winners here of the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Congratulations to Northwood.
They came out making a statement to come back in their first winter series to end that one a 6-0 Game 5, and here they come to the grand finals, knowing they're in control, knowing they're in charge. They have the leg up. They take the 4-0.
They take the victory, they take the crown, and they take themselves that trophy right front and center. Northwood University are your winners. Hey, crowd, I know we got some UCF fans, but we got to give it up. Come on, let them hear it. Let Northwood know that they've got some love in the building.
Massive props to both of these teams. I mean, Northwood came up, and they were doing such a great job from start to finish. Their bracket play, virtually flawless. I mean, they dropped the 2 games there to UCF in the winners finals, and that was the first games that they had lost at any point. These replays from Microsoft CDW just showcasing the dominance that Northwood had here in this series. And you see just, I mean, you can look at our faces and just know what is happening and how gross some of these shots were.
Filthy, disgusting, unreal here. And you know what else is unreal? Microsoft and CDW. Thank you again here for the replays. We really do appreciate it. And well, I gotta say, Northwood, they probably appreciate everything they just found. What an incredible showing from this team in red. They did not just pull out all the stops. They ripped the stop signs out of the ground and threw them at their opponents on replay. This was incredible. This was very well done. And again, congratulations to Northwood. But unfortunately, trademark, that's it. That's it for you and I. It's been a fantastic day of Rocket League. We want to thank you guys for joining us with this one. I don't even know what to say, man. This was everything we could have hoped for.
This is everything they could have hoped for, and when you're Northwood, I mean, you have the right to rip those stops aside. You're the king of the land. You make the laws.
Oh,
and that's exactly what they did here. Hockey averaging, a goal a game. On the other side, UCF, over their 8 games they played, they scored 6 goals total. That offense was just not there. They could not get it done. Northwood in complete control start to finish, and I mean, they just absolutely earned that trophy. They came out in commanding fashion.
The commanding fashion almost doesn't even begin to describe it. We could try and throw 1,000 words at this one, but I don't even have an essay to be able to describe it all. So let's leave it to some other people to talk about it instead. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. That's the end of Rocket League, but it's not at the end of the action here at the CECC.
I didn't know that we were going to have to write essays. That's not what collegiate esports is about.
Not only that, but like, why do they have us like all like? Why do they have that clip of us all turned around like we're the final bosses? They have to fight before like they take the trophy. Like all of us in silhouettes. I'm like, wait, where is this coming from?
The 4 horsemen of collegiate esports.
Is that us? I think it might be. Well, what a match! Northwood coming out on top. Before the match, they said we'll take them easy, and that's kind of what they did, Lawler.
Yeah, it was smooth sailing. Obviously, we saw the mishap from Esfera, and they talked about his shots and stuff. If you've seen that boy on Twitter, that boy ain't hitting any threes, and it's not going to happen here either. Poor guy, he calls a 4-0 on accident, and that means 4-1, and it doesn't go in his favor. But they did put up a really good fight. As soon as I saw that shot, I'm pretty sure it was from Buddy right at the beginning. That double touch was disgusting. That angle solidified. I'm like, okay, they're still warm. It's going to be ugly. I even said it. I was right below here watching the match. I was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, it's done. As soon as hockey put him on skates, I was like, okay. Go next. Like, we got Valorant up. But
do you guys have any favorite moments?
Well, to be honest with you, like I think that I guess my favorite moment was like, I guess it's not necessarily something it is like as an audience member I could commentate about, but I definitely think I could commentate about as an analyst. It's like slowly watching myself start to understand more and more about what more there is to Rocket League, right? I mean, I know exactly the double touch it is that he's talking about. Like I saw people's ankles turn to water, like these court just mixing them up entirely. Like I'm entirely surprised by like how amazing they've been playing.
I just wish we went to 7 so I could hear Lawler geek out about more Rocket League and Bass and Trademark go crazy as well. That's what I would have hoped for.
Oh, our trophy ceremony is coming right up. It looks like they might be ready down there. So, Paulie, will you take us away?
Absolutely, Anna. Thank you so much. Welcome back, everyone. Congratulations to Northwood University. Let's make some noise right now. They are your Rocket League Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup winners. The first ever. You guys are making history. Hockey, how does it feel to just win the first ever Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup?
It's hype. Yeah. First off, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, especially my mom. She's so supportive with all this, and I just love her. Love you, Mom.
Woo! Well done. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Truly a special day here, and what a way to line it up with the CECC. You guys move on. You're number one. The year is coming to a close here. What's it look like for the future of Northwood Rocket League?
So we got CRL Worlds in Dallas, June 3rd to the 5th. So we're going to be going to that and just doing the same thing, winning.
All right, you heard it from the man. They're going to win CRL Worlds. Your final closing statement right here. Northwood University, you're the first ever winners of the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Tell the crowd anything you'd like to say.
I just want to say thank you to the crowd. You guys are awesome. And just let's go get more wins.
Let's go. Let's make some noise for Northwood University. Well done. And now we have the trophy presentation here. I'd like to introduce the COO of CSMG, Ray Katz, the EVP of the CSMG, Angela Thomas, and CEO of Skillshot Media, Todd Harris. Let's make some noise. All right.
Good afternoon. My name's Ray Katz, Chief Operating Officer, Collegiate Sports Management Group. On behalf of event producers, CSMG, Skillshot, and EsportsU, and our presenting sponsors, CDW and Microsoft, who are also the sponsors of the Rocket League Trophy, congratulations to Northwood University on winning the 2022 Rocket League competition, and also congratulating hockey on being selected as most valuable player of this event and winner of a $1,000 scholarship. Thank you all for participating, and great job, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Let's make some noise one more time for Northwood University, your 2022 Atlanta CECC champions. Well done.
Wow, MVP is going to be hockey. What do you guys think about that choice?
I think it's fair. Obviously, huge vocal leader, but also, I mean, you talked about it, putting the guy on skates and turn ankles into wine and everything else. It's just kind of one of those where, while you do see these high-profile moments, there's a lot of times in Rocket League where the facilitators, the people that mediate, create passes, set up their teammates, you don't really see it until you really take a look back from an outside perspective. So, yeah, hockey, everywhere he needs to be, everywhere he's not supposed to be, he's not there either. So he's crushing it.
I love hearing the call out to the supportive mom, too.
Yeah.
That's really great. And I'm seeing a lot of the coaches, the administrators, all these people that are here to support with an administration, if you will, or a club like Northwood, really proving dominance like this. What does that mean for a college program?
This team has been pretty dominant since their quick rise, actually. They've only been around for a few semesters and stuff. And to see them in multiple titles as well show that prolific status, there's a reason why. You come out, you show success, and it's enticing. When you're another player, like you said, I want to be the best player on the best team, and Northwood is proving that. And the fact that they're going back to a world championship, they got $75,000 on the line coming up in Dallas. They're trying to repeat that. It's a $20,000 first place prize. That is a big deal. So, yeah, if you want to win in Rocket League, go play for Northwood. It's pretty much how it goes.
It's also I feel like it's an attractive thing to scouts. I have no idea if this is true. I just heard it in an NPC conversation passing by. But I heard something like there's a pro league scout here looking for some of these. And some of those players are really showing off their absolute best. And when you have a trophy in your hand, that's something that's very attractive to a pro team, yeah?
I mean, Ghost Gaming has a pretty good team, too. And they've been here all weekend, right? So.
Yep, we got Potts from United is over here. There's some pretty prolific names out that are always keeping their eyes open. Rocket League is, because it is an open qualifier system, at any given point, every 2 weeks, you can be a player, myself, yourself, whoever, can sit down, sign up, and if you're good enough, you can make the main event of the premier broadcast. It is a possibility. So for events like this, kids that are, starting to graduate and stuff, and you do see that spark, you're like, you know what, let's give them a shot. It never hurts. So
absolutely.
Yeah, got to keep your eyes open.
Well, like we said earlier, this was a 4-0 because Northwood was up 1 to begin the series and did not lose a game at all. We've been hearing it described as filthy, disgusting. What is this trend toward negative adjectives?
Nasty,
wasn't it
too.
sparkling, delicious? fantastic.
You like delicious. We've learned that.
I do. I like, you know, look, I'm hungry. I've been sitting at this desk for a long time. Sweet. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just I think it's the way that the adjectives is gone. You got to spice it up a little bit, but
I'm just issuing a challenge. I'm issuing a vocabulary challenge.
All right. So from now on, as a group, we are going to only say like positive like adjectives towards like gameplay. Like, wow, that was spectacular, incrable,
fantastic,
stellar. You know,
stellar. I like that one.
Yes.
That's a simple one, but it's
yes, ball good.
Yeah.
ball good. Okay. Nothing beats that.
Well, we're going to be moving on from Rocket League. That was our final Rocket League match. We're going to be moving into Valorant now. And we're going to have 2 semifinal matches followed by the grand final. So we will have lots and lots of tasty Valorant for you. There, I did it again. Food adjective. Didn't even mean to. First one is going to be West Virginia. The next one is going to be, versus Northwood. So we're going to see more Northwood coming up. What do we know about Northwood in Valorant?
No, go ahead, Fawn.
I mean, they were cooking yesterday. Like, they definitely were. they definitely were A1 yesterday. I always love watching Valor. I love watching Northwood's players as well. I feel like the game shouldn't have went as long as they did in some aspects yesterday, but I definitely think that
was just the broadcast in general, my dude.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think that there's like a lot to Northwood once again. Like, we saw how well that they were doing throughout Rocket League, and now here in Valorant, they perform just as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think Northwood is one of the top 3 teams coming into the Valorant side of things here. No surprise, Northwood's a top team in another esport, right? And they have a chance to win this one as well. But San Jose State was like their big rival. They were the #1 seed coming into this, and then group plays went totally differently. But Northwood came into this competition saying, we want to face Hawaii. They're like our online rival. Hawaii came in as the #6 seed, and then Northwood has to face West Virginia, surprise, surprise, because Hawaii was in the same group as Northwood, right? And this is where things get a little complicated. Northwood had to play Hawaii in groups. They didn't like that. They said, we want to play them in the elimination bracket. We want to kick them out of the tournament. So it just so happened they lost to them in the group play 13-15, right? So it was back and forth. It was tied. Hawaii won by 2. They went 3-0 in the group. Northwood, their only loss in the group, 2-1, was to Hawaii. So Hawaii came out of groups as the #1 seed. Northwood came out of the groups, I think, as the #4 seed. Then they're going through the brackets. It's West Virginia versus Hawaii. The winner faces Northwood, and Northwood has to be livid because they don't get the rematch. They don't get the elimination match against the team they wanted. They have to face West Virginia, which, by the way, anyone out there who watches college basketball, West Virginia's college basketball team, they're nicknamed Press Virginia because they full court press no matter if they're winning, losing, or whatever the score is. They've done this for like the last 4 years. And the West Virginia Valorant team in the passion pit back there, standing up after every single round, screaming at their opponents. They are Press Virginia here today, and they get to go up against Northwood, who I think is just going to come out and be like, look, we're not going to mess around like we were yesterday and start giving up rounds late into the game. Right. We need to get rid of this team because they're not even supposed to be in front of us. It's supposed to be Hawaii. We wanted Hawaii. They always blame ping when we play online because they live in the middle of the ocean. We don't want that to be a discussion. We want to destroy them in the elimination bracket. We lost to them by 2 rounds in overtime. We don't want to have to deal with that. We want to beat them. They don't get them. Now they have to deal with West Virginia.
The other semifinal match, of course, University of Houston versus San Jose. So lots of team names that we haven't gotten to watch quite a lot yet, but we're going to watch them very, very soon as Valorant comes right up. But in the meantime, if you want to grab a snack and you want to make a healthy change in your lifestyle, Drink Control is the perfect way to start. It's the best tasting meal replacement on the market. Stop spending lots of money on delivery or eating junk food and make a change today. Visit drinkcontrol.com. We will be right back after this break to crown our final champion in the Valorant Grand Finals. Don't go anywhere.